All right, YouTube Nation, I'm back. And sorry, it's been funny, that funny ass weather. 1 minute it's hot, next minute it's cold, then it's hot, it goes back and forth. So apologize if I'm sniffing my nose and trying to keep the snot from running down, but I don't want it on camera. And I know you guys don't want to see it on camera. You'd be like, damn, Alex, hurry up and get yourself together. Now, today's episode is going to be how to have sex with BBW women and how to deal with them. Now, I want to talk about the science and the math of what goes on with men who like to have sex with women that are 200 pounds, 300 pounds, and yes, even 400 pounds. Now, me personally, if you've seen my movie here on YouTube called Hard Time with Women of LA, you would know that in that video, I told you 2 or 3 times in that movie, I got hit on by plus size women for 10 years. So I would say in 10 years, I've been hit on by 50 women that are plus size. Fat white women, fat black women, fat Latino women. And here, I'm here to talk about why men like to have sex with plus size women. I'm here to add some new bonus material that could not make it into the movie, so therefore it has to be turned into a YouTube video, which is good because I get to explain the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, let's get into the science and the math. Now, the reason why a lot of men have sex with fat women, and nobody on YouTube wants to really tell you the truth behind that, except for Tom Likas, is that having sex with plus size women is the greatest equalizer. You might say, that don't make no sense, Alex. How on earth is having sex with plus size women the greatest equalizer? Because it goes according to math and science. See if you can catch this. See if this makes any sense to you. I know 10 years ago it didn't make no sense to me until I did some research and I found out what's going on. When you try to talk to a girl that's a supermodel, a fitness model, a booty model, actresses in television and film, or the news lady, you get rejected, right? You ever notice that when a guy talks to a fat girl that's between 200 to 260 pounds, the only time that the skinny girl wants to pay him any attention is when he does something extreme and out of this world. But if it weren't for him talking to that fat girl, the skinny girl would not be interested. You try to get the supermodels in the first place. Something else that the pickup artists and the dating coaches will never tell you, and I'm going to leave that into the second part of players and bad boys versus pickup artists and dating coaches part 2 next week or sometime in January of 2018. In this video, we're going to talk about what they don't want to tell you. Pickup artists and dating coaches, the reason why they don't want you to have sex with plus size women that's 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds is because they think that that's getting off easy and scot-free, but it's not. Because the time and energy that you spent getting with those females, again, money, looks, and status is still required. Now, the fat girl has a lot to prove. You know, she's trying to get fat acceptance. She's trying to get accepted in a society that deems that fat is bad. And she has more to prove to her female counterpart that's skinny. Now, the average man gets rejected 10 times a day. I want to repeat. The average man here in America gets rejected 10 times a day. Monday, you get rejected 10 times. Tuesday, you get rejected 10 times. So 10 plus 10 is 20. So in 2 days, you got rejected 20 times. All right, let's try Wednesday. That's 30. Thursday, that's 40 days. Friday, that's 5 days. In 5 days, that's 50 attempts you've been rejected. All right, Saturday's day 6, that's 60. Sunday comes up, that's 70. So that's 70 times in 7 days you've been rejected 10 times. Because you've been rejected 10 times on Monday, 10 times on Tuesday, 10 times on Wednesday, 10 times on Thursday, 10 times on Friday, 10 times on Saturday, 10 times on Sunday. If you add up each day that you get rejected 10 times, it's 7 days a week, right? That's 70 times in 7 days you've been rejected. And at some point, you're going to get sick and tired of the fake phone numbers, the fake email addresses, the mind games. You're going to get tired of the BS excuses. And at some point, you're going to want to get laid. So you see this fat white girl that's between 200 to 220 pounds, big titties, big butt, got a huge waist, got a gut, and she's got blonde hair and blue eyes. It's a white girl. So you step to her and you get her phone number and her email address. But the skinny girl that you try to talk to told you, well, I only mess with guys that have a house, a car, and a job. This fat girl wants a guy that has a house and a car and a job too, but she's willing to give you a chance. So you get happy because you finally scored a home run. Now, the more you get in contact with plus size women, the better your social skills get. Your social skills will improve just like that because you're communicating with the opposite sex. You're not inside the house 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, closed off to society and being accused of being antisocial. And don't worry, I will make a future YouTube video, a part 1 and a part 2 of why people get accused of being antisocial and how can you fix it. So you can stop being accused of being antisocial. With the fat girl, or should I say plus size girl, doesn't matter if she's black, white, Latino, she has a lot of things in common with you. Both of you like movies, television shows, comic books, anime, video games. Both of you like the same stuff and you have the same interest. Now, the fat girl might have a problem because she likes to eat fast food and that's why she's big in the first place. Now explain the math part. Again, if you're going to have sex with a girl that's between 200 to 220 pounds, you got to do this like you're playing basketball and football. See, nobody tells you this when you're in high school and college. You find this out when you get in your 30s and your 40s, all this information. The reason why plus size women like professional athletes is because they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, and they're more athletic. Take someone like a professional football player. The average football player can bench press anywhere from 200 to 300 pounds. Literally can bench press. If you can bench press 200 to 220 pounds, you can take down a plus size woman that is 200 to 220 pounds. They call that baby fat. So from 190 to 220 pounds, that's considered baby fat. Anybody can easily dominate that. If the girl is 230, 240, 250, then that would be what they call borderline obesity. Again, if you can bench press 230, 240, 250, you can take down a girl that's 230, 240, 250. And the same thing goes if the girl is 260, 270, 280, 290. So the more you work out at the gym and the bigger and the stronger you get physically, the more physically opposing you will be to the opposite sex. And by the way, this video is not for men that like plus size women. This video is for men who likes plus size women. So if you don't want to watch this YouTube video, click off of and don't watch it. This is not for the average person that don't like plus size women. This video is made and strictly for men who like plus size women only, which is a small percentage of men. Now, here's another thing that they don't tell you when you're in high school or in college. And again, you find this out in your late 30s, early 40s. You must be in prime physical, athletic condition, shape to have sex with women, period. Now, I know you see it in the movies and the television shows. It's okay to have sex any kind of way. But I'm here to tell you that if you watch porn, about 75 to 85% of porn, you ever notice that all the men are in athletic shape? That the women are in athletic shape? Well, guess what? If you go have sex with a plus size woman, you got to bench press 200 to 220 pounds. Now, I'm not saying you got to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. You ain't got to be Chris Hemsworth, aka the Mighty Thor. You don't have to be Christopher Evans, Captain America, Steve Rogers. I'm not saying you got to be superheroes to deal with plus size women. What I'm saying is when you go into the gym, you have to have a competitive mind frame. You can't pretend that the girl that's 220 to 260 pounds is 90 pounds. You can't treat her like that. You have to treat her like a big woman. Therefore, your workout in the gym is going to be anywhere between 1 hour to 2 hours. So you're dealing with plus size women, you got what they call 2-hour workouts. One hour of cardio, 1 hour of weight training. 1 plus 1 is 2 hours. So if you're going to mess with women that are from 200 to 260 pounds, or you want to mess with women that's 270, 280, 290, or even 300 pounds, you have to have what they call 2-hour workouts. So your average time for going to the gym is 2 hours. 1 hour of cardio, 1 hour of weight training. And then you'll find out that when you lift or bench press or even leg curl 200 to 220 pounds in 6 months, you'll be able to deal with a woman that's 200 to 220 pounds. If the woman's 230 or 240 or 250 pounds, you'll be able to deal with a woman that's 230, 240, 250, or 260 pounds. Because it goes by how much you bench press. The bigger the woman is, the more you have to bench press. The smaller the woman is, the smaller your workout is in the gym. The bigger the woman is, the bigger the workout is. That includes 1 hour of cardio, 1 hour of weight training, and you might have to run maybe 3 to 5 miles, 10 miles if necessary. And you won't be able to complain like some of these other guys complain when they see something in a movie or in a television show and go, I'm out of breath, I'm tired, I don't have no energy. That's why plus size women like basketball players, football players, baseball players, because they're bigger, stronger, faster, and more athletic, and they're in great shape. And you notice that if any football player, if he was a chubby chaser, usually those plus size women are smiling because they were satisfied. Whereas the average man who likes plus size women, he can't even satisfy a plus size woman because he's not in athletic shape. Fat women like men to be in athletic shape too. So, and this video is made for plus size people who like plus size women. So I'm going to say it again as a disclaimer. If you see this video and you click on the title because it says having sex with BBW women and how to deal with them, and you don't like what you see or hear in the video, click off and don't watch. This is for men that like plus size women. This is men that want to be in relationships and want to have sex with plus size women. So that's why I'm saying it in the video. Now, that I explained the math, let's explain the science. Now, a lot of people think that a lot of men don't like plus size women here in America. Well, I'm here to tell you that's a lie. That's BS. Because if you look at Marilyn Monroe wasn't exactly a skinny woman, okay? Marilyn Monroe has some ass on her and some curves on her. If you look at the 10 years that Marilyn Monroe was an actress in television and film in Hollywood, in the old days of Hollywood, Marilyn Monroe was not a skinny woman. A lot of people forget that. A lot of men say they love Marilyn Monroe. They find her physically, sexually attractive, but you do realize she actually was on the heavy side during the last few years of her career as an actress before she OD'd on some drugs. So when people say they don't like fat women, they're being hypocritical and they're being disingenuous because Marilyn Monroe was not a skinny woman. Now, if you look at Marilyn Monroe from the age of 20 to the age of 25, she was skinny. but from the age of 26 to the age of 28 or going on 30, just before she passed away, she was on a bit on the chunky side, the heavy side, the big side. And men found her physically, sexually attractive. One of the world's greatest baseball players of all times was dating Marilyn Monroe. Okay? Fast forward 50 years later in Hollywood history. Here comes Anna Nicole Smith, a white girl with some big breasts, big thighs, big curves, and a big butt. And here we go again. It's a white girl from the countryside, from the country down south, with big breasts, big thighs, big curves, and a big butt. And once again, men found her physically and sexually attractive. You had basketball players, football players, baseball players, actors, lawyers, doctors, all trying to take her out to lunch and dinner. Multi-billionaires and millionaires taking pictures with Anna Nicole Smith. You had underwear Kevin Klein models taking her out to lunch and dinner as big as she was. And she was a stripper. She was a plus-size stripper. See, a lot of people forget that Anna Nicole Smith, before she broke into acting as an actress in television and film, she also was a stripper. Down in Texas, she was a stripper. And you had one of the richest billionaires at the time, I forgot his name, but he was a billionaire 25 years ago, and he fell in love with Anna Nicole Smith. Now, she was about between 200 to like 240 pounds. That's how fat she was. And men overlooked the fact that she was 220, 230, 240 pounds. They overlooked that. And this is the 1990s. This is between 1990 and 1995. Remember Guess Jeans? Remember Guess Jeans? Just so you know, Guess Jeans became the first spokesperson for women clothing to say it's okay to be a little big and it's okay to accept women at this size. And you see, when people sit here and talk about fat acceptance, you were already doing fat acceptance if you look at the 1990s. See, a lot of you millennials weren't born in the 1980s and the 1990s to see what I was talking about. You have to go research this. Seriously. And you see, it was a bunch of men trying to take her out to lunch and dinner. Actors, celebrities were trying to take Anna Nicole Smith out to lunch and dinner. And she had a black book. And in that black book, she had sex with over 25 men. So in 17 years before she passed away and OD'd on drugs, Anna Nicole Smith had sex with over 25 men in 17 years. She had sex with lawyers, doctors, bank investors, actors in television and film, producers, directors, basketball players, football players, baseball players, guys that were rock stars, guys that were bodybuilders, weightlifters. She had sex with over 25 men in 16 years. That's why I think last year they made a movie called the Anna Nicole Smith movie. They made like at least 5 films on Anna Nicole Smith's life story. They even say in Hollywood that Anna Nicole Smith was the second coming of Marilyn Monroe. So if you look at Marilyn Monroe and you look at Anna Nicole Smith, they're not skinny girls. By any stretch of imagination, they're not skinny women. They're plus size because they were fat at that time period. Now, yes, Anna Nicole Smith did lose 40 pounds during the last days of her death and started to get skinny again. But my point was, I would say 10 out of 17 years, she was fat and out of shape, and men was hitting it. So when people say fat acceptance is nonsense, you were already doing fat acceptance in the 1990s. Now you look at this supermodel that appeared on 2016's Sports Illustrated cover. She's being once again considered the third coming of Marilyn Monroe. And this is a Latino woman that's plus size that appeared on the front cover of Sports Illustrated men's magazine. And men went out to the store last year and bought over 1 million copies. So when people tell you they don't like fat women, they don't like plus size women, They're just bullshitting and lying to you, because if you hated plus size women, if you hated fat women so bad, you would never bother to go to the store and buy a magazine cover called Sports Illustrated with a plus size Mexican woman on the front cover. So that's a contradiction. You contradict yourself when you say, I don't like plus size women, I don't like big women. Well, you bought the magazine cover, so that makes you a hypocrite. If you open your mouth and say, I don't like plus size women, you had some black men buy the magazine cover, you had some white men, you had some Latino men buy the magazine cover. So basically this video was to break down and explain it. So this is like 20 minutes worth of material. So basically I hope you like this video. If you want me to make a part 2 or a follow-up to this video, you have to put something down in the comment section and you have to tell me why you agree or disagree with the video. All right, peace.